So we are going to be, this one's a little bit different because we're starting kind of in the middle of a page here, or toward the end of a page. We're going to be on page 16 of the Unit 4 packet. And our focus today is solving word problems that involve fractions. The key thing is to recognize how to set these problems up and what number goes in which place. So, for example, we know in a division problem, the first number is called the dividend. Typically, that number, if we're doing long division, goes in the dividend end, and we divide by the divisor, the number being the number doing the dividing. The key thing to realize during a division problem is this, and I'd be writing this down at the bottom of page 16. This dividend, oftentimes in a division word problem, is the amount, I'm just going to abbreviate amount, being divided up. For example, I'm going to go back to a problem real quick to show you what I mean. As long as you know what the dividend is and what goes and that it goes first, the other number, is easier to figure out. But I'm going to show you a problem on page 15. Okay, this problem right here. Mary has 2/3 pounds of sunflower seeds. Each day she feeds the cardinals in her yard 1/8 pounds of seeds. 1/6 pounds of seeds. For how many days will she be able to feed the cardinals? Now, what I was mentioning before is that the dividend of the first number is the amount being divided up. The amount being divided up is this 2/3 pounds of sunflower seeds. That's what she's starting with. That's the amount she's going to split into smaller groups. The 1/6 pounds is the size of the group. So if I know that this is the amount she's starting with, then I know that's the dividend. That's the number being divided up. So when you're doing these division problems, it's a good idea to keep in mind, I'm on the wrong page. It's a good idea to keep in mind that the dividend is the number being divided up, and that goes first. So as I read these problems today, as we do these, that's what I'm going to be focused on, trying to identify what number is the dividend. Okay, let's check this one about Ramon on the bottom of page 16. Ramon is making party favors. He is dividing 3/4 pounds of almonds into 12 packages. Write and solve an equation to find how many pounds of almonds are in each package. Okay. So you got to ask yourself, what amount is being divided up? Is he dividing up the almonds or is he dividing up the packages? Well, he's dividing up the almonds into packages. So this number here is the dividend. That's the number that's going to go first. This is the amount we're dividing up. Now, I know it's kind of strange because we're dividing it by 12. And we're used to having the greater number first. But in a word problem, the first number is the amount being divided up. So we're going to see how many pounds of almonds are in each package. And we're expecting it to be quite not that many, right? Because he's starting with less than a pound and he's taking that amount and dividing it into 12 pieces. So each piece is going to be kind of small. Now, before I divide, I want to change that 12 into a fraction. Instead of 12, I'm going to write 12 over 1 because if I'm dividing fractions, I want both numbers to be fractions. And then we'll change, flip, 3/4, keep it. Division, change it. Fraction, we'll flip that fraction. Before we multiply, we'll think, is there anything we can do to simplify this? Well, let's look diagonally. 4 and 1, nothing. But 3 and 12, we can divide them both by 3. So let's do it. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3, was ahead of myself there, is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. So we got to label this so. It's 1/16 pounds of almonds per bag. That's the answer right there. So again, we didn't expect a number of, a big number of great value because we started out with less than a pound and divided it into 12 pieces, so each piece is going to be kind of small. But again, the key thing is to note the number being divided up is going to be the dividend, that first number. All right. And again, if you want to try any of these on your own, you can, of course, pause it, try it on your own, see what you get. It's always a good idea. But first thing we're going to do is read it through. We'll see what our dividend is, and we'll do some division. A neighborhood garden that is, 2/3 of an acre is divided into 4 equal size sections. Write and solve an equation to find the size of each section. Okay. First things first, we have to figure out which amount is being divided up. Are we dividing up the 2/3 of an acre, or are we dividing up these sections? To me, we're starting with this amount of land and we're dividing it up into sections. So this 2/3 of an acre, that's the dividend. That's going to be the first number. That's the number being divided up. So that's the number we're going to write first. 2/3. And we're dividing it by 4. So instead of writing the number 4, of course, we're going to write 4/1 because that would be the fraction. Once we've written the division problem, then we're going to keep. Or we're going to change, or we're going to flip. All right, let's do it. 2/3 we're going to keep. We're going to change the division to multiplication. We're going to flip that fraction to 1/4. At this point, we can do some simplification if possible. 3 and 1, we can do nothing with. 2 and 4, we can divide them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we get 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. So it says find the size of each section. So that means each section is 1/6 of an acre, which makes sense again because we started out with not a complete acre, only 2/3. We're dividing that into 4 parts, so each part is going to be less than 2/3, quite small actually. 1/6 of an acre. It's not that much. All right, here we go. Let's talk about recycling, one of my favorite things. Actually, a 3-way tie between recycling, reducing, and reusing. So tied for first place is my favorite thing. Rainer, something recycling collected 7/4 tons of aluminum last Saturday. And fun fact, in Britain, they pronounce it aluminium. Yeah, so there you go. If 7/8 tons of aluminum can be shredded each day, how many days will it take to process what was collected on Saturday? So, again, first things first, we're going to think about what is the amount being divided up. What are we starting with? We're starting with 7/4 tons of aluminium, okay? And we're dividing it into groups that are 7/8 in size. Now, I don't want you to think that like the first number in the word problem is always the dividend. It's always the number being divided up, because that's not always the case, as we might see in the next problem. All right. So we got 7/4, and we're going to divide it by 7/8. Okay. We are going to keep, change, flip. Of course, you can be doing this on your own if you want. You don't have to wait for me. 7/4, we're going to keep, change the division to multiplication. 7/8, we're going to flip it to 8/7. Now we think, can we simplify? Oh, yeah. 7 and 7, we can divide them by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 4 and 8, we can simplify that, divide them by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Perfect. Feeling good about this one. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2. So it says, how many days will it take to process what was collected? It will take 2 days to process the aluminum. It will take 2 days to process the aluminum. Just kind of separate that there from the word. Okay. This one, if you want to try this next one on your own, go for it, because this one always gives people a hard time. Always does. Okay. I remember last year, like, people were having a tough time with this one, but we got to think about the first number. The first number is what is being divided up, and the second number is what's doing the dividing. Let's read it here. If you want to try this one on your own, go for it. This one's tough. You have 60 CD cases that you would like to store on a shelf shown below. There's the shelf right here. If each CD case is 3/8 inches wide, is there enough room on the shelf for the CD cases? Okay. There are 3 numbers on here. So the first thing we have to figure out is, what is the dividend? What is the number being divided up? So let's think about it. Are we dividing up the 60 CD cases? Is that the amount we're trying to divide up into smaller pieces? I don't think so. Are we trying to divide up 3/8? Again, that's the size of each case. I don't think that's it either. So if it's not those two, and this is what gets everybody, there's one more number there, and it's right here. This is the amount we're trying to divide up. We have a space here, 24 inches, and we're trying to see how many times 3/8 fits in to 24 inches. If it's more than 60, then we have enough room to put all those CDs. If when we do 24 divided by 3/8, it's less than 60, that means we don't have enough room to put the CDs. So this is a yes or no question. Is there enough room? We have to figure it out by seeing how many CDs can fit in this 24-inch space. So we're going to divide up that space, and we're going to see how many groups of 3/8 will fit into 24. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll do 60 divided by 3/8. But 60 isn't really the space we're trying to divide up. It's the 24 inches. And that's what people get tripped on every time. So if you're trying this on your own, hopefully you got that. If not, you might want to change it. All right. So before we do this, I'm going to write 24 as 24 over 1, of course. And we're going to keep, and we're going to change, and we're going to flip it. And I think another reason that throws people off is they miss that. They miss that little picture here with the number right there. Keep the 24 over 1, which is the amount being divided up. We're going to see how many times 3/8 fits. We're going to flip that. Oh, almost kept flip. I want to change that. 8/3. Okay. Can we simplify? You better believe it. 8 and 1, no, but 24 and 3, we can divide them both by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 8 times 8 is 64. 1 times 1 is 1. Well, what does this answer mean? That means 3/8 can fit onto 24 inches 64 times. So there's enough space on this shelf for 64 CDs. So is there enough space for 60? Yes. So the answer is yes. There is enough room for 60 seeds. There's enough room for 4 extras. So maybe he wants to go out and get 4 extra CDs, put it on that shelf, call it a day. Call it a day. All right. We're going to try one more here, and we're going to make a story problem. If you want to write your own story problem, that's fine. But this time we're kind of going backwards. We have the problem here. We're trying to find a story here to fit with this. What's important to remember, this first number, the dividend, this is the number being divided up. So when I write a division problem like this, I always start with that amount. Like, what is that amount going to be? What are we dividing up? I'm going to say it's going to be 1/4 I'm going to say we have 1/4. It's always good to use like a measurement or something. 1/4. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do this. No, I'm not. I'm just going to go for something more straightforward. Okay. We have, I'm going to say we, just as a class, we have 1/4 pounds of pizza dough. So that's the amount we have right off the bat. So we have 1/4 pounds of pizza. That's the amount we have. That's what we're going to divide up. Each pizza needs 1/8 pounds of dough. So that is like the group. That's how we're going to divide 1/4 into groups of 1/8. Each pizza needs 1/8 pounds of dough. The question would be, how many pizzas can we make? How many pizzas? Of course, you can write your own problem, but this one's fine if you want to use this one. How many pizzas can you make? So we have 1/4 pounds of dough. That is our, I'll leave that up there if you need to copy that down. That's our dividend. That's the number being divided up. And we're going to divide it into groups that are 1/8 pounds in size. This one seems like it's going to be pretty straightforward. So 1/4 divided by 1/8. They've already given us the problem. Keep, change, flip. 1/4 times 8/1. We can definitely make more than one pizza because, or at least a little bit more than one, because 1/4 is greater than 1/8. 8 and 4, you can divide them both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So the answer to this question is you can make 2 pizzas. Or put an exclamation point. And that's it. So this person would need, for every pizza they want to make, they would need 1/8 more pounds of dough. So they can make 2. All right. So I hope that this was helpful in trying to get a sense of how to solve a division problem with fractions. The key thing is, again, the dividend is the amount being divided up. You want that first, and then divide it by how many or what amount would be in each group, and then you'll be on your way. We'll use keep, change, flip. All right, gang, I hope this went well for you, and have a great day, and I will see you very soon. All right, bye-bye.